What's going on? Welcome to Market Monday. We're going to take a look at Paldea Evolved and see how some things are moving and leveling, going up, going down. Let's take a look and hop over here. Let's pull out just a couple of these kind of things that I've personally invested in recently, and also things that I think are just a good investment long term. We're going to take a look over here at our booster box for Paldea Evolved. So this thing is sitting around 115, but this is actually pretty high shipping here to make it in that market price, the 128. If you look at the trends, we were floating around like 105, then we worked our way up into that almost 130 range now. If you look at some recent sales, you're seeing 130, don't know there, that's ridiculous, 115, 130, 125, 130, 130, 130, 135. So it looks like we got a little bit happening in that way, and that's past few days, 21st through 23rd there. So we got a little bit happening. You can take a look here. There's going to be things that are going to pull that price down when you have a set of 12 or a Japanese version. That kind of stuff is going to actually pull that market value down a little bit because it's trying to pull in those averages. So then you start to get to that unopened, that high shipping there, 130, get in that 130 range when you start calculating everything a little higher, 135. So yeah, it's going up a little bit. I think I picked this up at 105 recently. So just a couple weeks ago actually. So kind of got lucky there, I guess, before this thing started picking up pace. And we have almost a full month, it looks like, floating around this 130 price and ticking up. Booster boxes are a great investment. Those are the things that are going to be long term. Moving over here to the Elite Trainer box. Again, Paldea Evolved here. It's a showpiece. There's artwork. I think these are a great investment if you don't have a booster box price available to you. So you can get one or two of these. Saw them on one of the good online stores that I frequent, and it was floating at 35 bucks, so I picked up two of those. I had a couple from when the set came out, but that seemed like a good price to me. Remember in our Sword and Shield era where an ETB was 40 bucks retail, so getting one for less than that retail price, and now they're retailing, what is it, 50, I guess? Yikes, ridiculous. I don't think anybody's trying to pay that if they can help it, that's for sure. So where are we at? 40 right here on that listing, 38, a little bit of an upward trend. It was floating down here a little bit not too long ago, even in the $30 range, but that actually seems to be a little bit of a dip in the market. So we're looking at 33 to 35, somewhere in there seems to be our reasonable average on this. Even a year ago we weren't even hitting 40, and now we're at what's an all-time high in the past year, getting close to that 40 mark. So we can look at recent purchases here, 40, 40, 40. That's an awkward number of the 40.01. 39.99 seems more reasonable, but still, that's 40 bucks. Here we go, 45. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different things pushing into that $40 range. So this would still be a decent pickup at 40 bucks, and maybe get a couple of those for you. If you can't, go for that booster box. And looking down here just for what's available to purchase. I like to look at percentage rating here, and also how many sales they've done, and if it's worth the extra cent to go with somebody who's a little bit more, comfortable with the sales strategy there, or they have a higher rating, which this is not the case here. It might be worth just paying a little bit more, and that would be the reason you can go that direction, is if the rating or the sales count helps affect that. So just a little tip there. I'm going to take a look over here at our Build and Battle display box here. So this is a case of 10 of the Build and Battle boxes. This is one where you get that promo little deck building pack, and then you get 4 packs. So for 4 packs, 10 case here, so 40 packs, we're talking almost 200 bucks. Yikes, that seems steep. Looks like a pretty quick shoot to the top here, and I don't know how long we've got that leveling. Just a few days, really, a week and a half. Where are we at? May 21st? No, that's a month. That's a month. Almost May 21st, but we're missing a lot of data. What's going on over here? Nobody's doing anything? I don't know. So let's go backward this way. It had a long run in the 120 range. I picked this up back in probably February, March area, and I ended up getting it for 120. So that was reasonable at the time for the market. I just kind of thought, that's 12 bucks per box. These things are retail for 20, right? So it seemed like a decent deal to get the case and have a sealed case. I've not done a sealed case for this before, and it's kind of bulky. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather go with the booster box, to be honest. It's going to be a better bang for your buck the long term, but I thought this was an interesting piece to have. And there's this little shoot up and just starting to level, but I don't know, hard to say. 136. Let's look at some recent sales on it. 185, geez, that's an outlier. 135, 135, 130, close to 130 on there. 125, getting more in that range. So, okay, 125. I think if you can pick it up for 125, 130, you'd probably still be in good shape because you got to divide it out. You're looking at $13 a box, you know, $12.50 a box. That's pretty good for these things. If you want to go that route. If you're finding them as singles for those prices as a box and you don't have a lot of investment dollars, you can grab a couple, or it's still a good value to open at that point. Maybe you can be chasing after some of those high value singles there. It's always going to be cheaper to buy singles long term than it is to go and open packs for them. So if you get lucky and you enjoy the pack opening experience, that's great, but it is cheaper to buy singles. Let's just point that out. This one's got a weird U shape to it here. This is the Build and Battle Stadium. These are not super popular, but I don't think that these are going to be around much longer. They're not a big showstopper for people. And the price is a little bit outrageous. I think it's like $60 for the retail price or something like that. $59, $49. I think it's $59. Outrageous. It's 2 of those Build and Battle boxes and then an additional 3 packs. Sword and Shield, we saw an additional 4 packs. And here with Scarlet and Violet era, we're seeing an additional 3 packs. So they're trying to skimp on you a little bit there. $40 for the box, still a pretty decent deal. And then it took a tank way down to $33.50. I was one of those lucky ones that picked up a couple of these at $33 each. I just knew that was a decent price for where it was at, almost half of MSRP. And now we're creeping back up, 38. It's not a big win here. Long term, is this going to be something? It'll be something. I don't think it's going to be crazy price, but got them on a deal. I was thinking maybe I'll open them for some from pack opening for the channel, but the longer I wait, the more I see things trending upwards, and I'm like, keep it sealed, I guess. So we'll end up finding out over time what I want to do there. So 45 seems to be the trend here. 37, 45, 33, and we're going all the way back now into April there. So that's kind of far back for now to be considering in those prices there. So looks like the trend is moving into that $45 range. Let's see what we got down here. 45, 60. We're getting back up to MSRP almost here. Jeez, don't do that. $10 shipping and $60, ridiculous. 60 plus $15 shipping. Where do these prices come from? I don't get it. Like, just how does our market price get to $38.42, but everybody's listing it to pretend it's hot, you know? So the listed median price almost $60. Ridiculous. And it really comes down to that Magikarp, I think, is what's going on. Is people are on the hunt for all these alt arts. They're on the hunt for these SIRs and IRs. They want to make sure they have the top pulls of the set. If you want it, go buy it. They're out there. There's thousands of them. They're not rare. They're just being held. That's the difference, all right? Pokemon Company wants to make money. They put them out there. They're out there. People want to sell them because they don't have that same attachment that you might or I might. So just, my goodness, go buy them if you want them. Speaking of Magikarp, speaking of those top pulls, let's take a look at the 4 top pulls here. Magikarp being our leader here. Again, it's an illustration rare. It's not even a special illustration rare, but that's the thing we're seeing more and more. We're seeing these illustration rares have a higher value, and Paldea Evolved actually had a really, really tough pull rate on illustration rares. I think there's something like 12 in the set, so even if you got 1 or 2 in a booster box, you don't have a good chance of getting the Magikarp or that Tyranitar. You don't have a chance of getting that Raichu. You're going to be in the other areas where you could be pulling up, what are the other ones there? You could be getting, these are all special illustration rare. You could get Sprigatito, which, you know, that's kind of the more reasonable value on illustration rares. The Sudowoodo, one of my favorites. I love that Pokemon. I don't know what it was about playing the games that he stood out to me. Heracross, you know. We got lots of different options, and in recent price ranges here to be adding the artwork to a binder, completing the set, or getting close to it. You know, picking these up before they go crazy, because the boom of alt arts in the Sword and Shield era is showing us that maybe we've all, and I'm guilty of it too, maybe we've all been undervaluing the Scarlet and Violet era. Yes, 151, great. You know, we're looking at things like Paradox Rift and going, it's okay. We're looking at Paldea Evolved even and saying that the top chase for a long time was this Iona, and market price is put in at $80, and we got that Magikarp out for a number of reasons. Let's take a look at it. Number of reasons this thing is blown up. $350. Come on. Where do these things come from? They're just literally fishing for suckers here, looking for you. And yes, there's a trend upwards, but we're not jumping to 350 anytime soon. This is not the Giratina from Lost Origin. Same artist, same kind of artwork style, but this is not the same card. No way. The pull rates are going to be way better for this Magikarp than they were for that Giratina. Exponentially, like we're talking 10x on the Magikarp over that Giratina. So for it to be having a brushing elbows with that price range, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So we do have this trend upwards, especially with this alt art boom, with this, paying attention in Scarlet Violet era. So now's the time to go get your singles. But around here, $67, and people were hesitant, going, what? Special illustration rare? It makes sense in that price range, but an illustration rare hitting in that $60 range, outrageous. And now we're all clamoring for, can we get it for 100? Can we get it for 120? Like, what's the option here? And that's why this set seems to be unique, where the opening experience in these price ranges is still valuable to do for that chase. So if you're going to be hunting that Magikarp, now's the time on the packs, because the price in those packs is still pretty solid. We have a listed median price $160. Let's see what we have for sales. So you get pictures, but these lower prices are going to be Japanese. There's Korean on here every once in a while. So if you want the artwork, that's an inexpensive way to go ahead and acquiring that artwork. But if you want the English piece, the higher dollar value, the one that's going to be the investment piece long term, then you're going to have to, shell out the dough a little bit. So we're looking 140, 100 around the light play option there. Spending that kind of price with no picture seems a little sus. Check out eBay, where there's going to be a lot more photos to be viewing, and you can have a communication with the seller prior. Maybe that's a good little tip. 150, 140. Man, it's floating around there, but kind of all over the place. But people are trying to capitalize on this. So if they have it in another language, they are pushing to go get the cash while they can on that, because of the artwork. And it gives all of us in the Pokemon community an opportunity. There's a chance to get that artwork, but not have to shell out all the money for it. I got 25 of these things. See, maybe in the Korean set run of this, they were much more common. I don't know. But that helps keep the price down. The artwork keeps the price up. $30, you got the same exact card. It is. But you got to be careful, because there's a lot of fakes out there too. So, be vigilant, stay vigilant. Iona, let's take a look at Iona. I'm surprised that this one's holding up as much as it is. It's a decent artwork, I'm not going to lie, it is. But we had that special collection, the premium collection of Iona, with that full art trainer people could add to their decks. Decent card for playability. And I think that's where we saw this kind of dipping down here. Let's see, I think that came out a little bit longer ago. Man, we were pushing almost to 100 6 months ago. And then we got down into this 75 range here, and now we're coming back up into the 80s. All right, so if you're going to be getting a price of this caliber, $74 in light play doesn't seem reasonable, when you can go ahead and get a near mint for what, 75. Okay, 75 and then shipping. Take a look for the deals, even if you have to push to $85 difference for near mint over that. Again, with these prices, I'd prefer there be pictures, or you go to a local game store, maybe look at eBay, find something a little bit more trustworthy with checking the quality, because you can get things that are just way off center. They're going to give you the worst version of what they have. Say somebody pulls 2 of these things because they went crazy opening Paldea Evolved. Fine, great. They're going to give you the lesser version of the 2, so they can sell out on that and turn that money into another investment or a pack opening experience, whatever it might be. So stay vigilant. It's just pay attention to what you're doing. It's a fun community, it's crazy, but pay attention to what you're doing. We have our Raichu, another illustration rare that's just creeping up. It did a big quick shot, but now we see over the past month things are actually leveling out in that range. So the market was saying for a long time, it's a $20 card because it's good. It's Raichu. Pikachu's evolved form. It's a good shot. Really cool how we got just that little spark of energy coming out, that there's that motion, that activity, a little bit of life in the image here. It's not just sleeping Raichu. It is, but you know, he's dreaming about something, a little smile there, probably winning a battle, I don't know, whatever it is. And we started to appreciate the artwork. Again, we're competing with the Scarlet and Violet era with that big push on the alt arts. Get them while they're available, get them while you can before it all runs out and they stop printing forever, which is true, they will. And big jumps on some of these. So now we're seeing the market say this is in the $40 range, 45 listed median, 40 on the market price. And let's take a look. We're going to see the same thing as that Magikarp, that we're going to find other languages. We're going to find other options to go lesser, so you can have the artwork for less. But again, it depends on how you want to invest. I battle with this. I do. I go, I want the artwork. So should I go with the lesser price? Get 3-4 of these artworks that I really would like to enjoy. You know, I've done art my entire life, so as a photographer. So I think, yes, I like the artwork, but something about the premium, something about that going, you know, name brand versus generic. Japanese cards are not generic. Don't quote me in that negative light. They are not generic. They are where it all began. So I can totally appreciate it. And if you're going to go with certain promos, the Japanese is going to be way higher than English. But for whatever reason, in the Scarlet and Violet era, we are seeing that the English cards have a premium. They are stabilizing much higher. I don't know if the pull rates are that much more different, or if there's just a growing mass market here in the US that is pushing that direction. I don't understand it fully yet, but from the trends we're seeing, the English cards have that premium. We're looking at 42, 40, 38, that's almost 40. We're talking close to 40 all around here for quite a while. This is just a handful of days. People are kind of going nuts, aren't they? Because that's just a few days. Push back a little bit here, still in that $40 range. Even a week ago, week and a half, we're getting close. An outlier of 42, 35 on the down there. Yeah, this is the upward trend. Looks like this is stabilizing around 40. Don't pay the 60 that you see on top. That's ridiculous. Come down, find the one you want. You want to go damage for cheap? You may as well go with a alternate language and go really cheap, right? You can't even get to near mint there. Let's just filter out here, and it says English, but yeah, whatever. They do what they want on these. Near mint 40. 40, 41, 45. Looks like that's where the market says it's going to be for a little while here. Tyranitar, our last one to look at here for today. This one went up, and it had a little bit of a shoot up, but it wasn't as radical. I mean, yes, we're talking May 15th through the 30th, so 15 days, a big upward slope there. And then it plateaued for a minute, and people said, I don't think this is worth $45. And really, I don't either. I think in the illustration rare, the majority of them, even the good artworks, should be floating around 25, 30 bucks. That's reasonable, that's solid, that's a lot of money to be putting into it. You could be picking up almost an ETB for that and have the pack opening experience. You know, maybe somebody's building out their first deck and playing with it. You got the sleeves, the dice, all that stuff, all the good things. And with the Scarlet Violet area, you get the promo. So there's a lot of different things to consider in how you're going to maneuver your collection dollars. But I think $25, $30 for the ones that are a little bit heavy hitters like this. Yes, there's always going to be outliers. You're always going to have a Magikarp in a set. But I think there's a reason that these things shoot up, and that's following trends. Fear of missing out, we call it FOMO. A lot of people just kind of wondering if they're going to miss their opportunity. There are thousands of these things, people, thousands of them, okay? We're saying 43 is the listed median. People are trying to drive that price up when we know that the market's been selling around and keeping to 35 there. So we see this downward slope. Give it a minute. Maybe it's going to get down to 30 and it'll stabilize there. $50, almost 50, ridiculous. $30 for light play. 41, 42, 32. So it's kind of all over the place, but let's go back just a little bit. 36, 37, 36, 33, 32, and that's only a few days ago. So I think the market's going to start realizing you got a handful of things happening here, but that's some weird drivers going up. 2 is not enough to say there's market manipulation, but we've been seeing it, and we don't want to see that. It's kind of disheartening that we see that kind of stuff going on. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this Market Monday watch here, just kind of seeing what's going on. And we're just looking at Paldea Evolved. You can go all day long, and there are so many other channels that do really good deep dives into this kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd give it a try because I watch these numbers. I research this stuff. I pay attention to, because I'm looking at doing sealed product. I'm looking at buying singles. The more I open, the less I enjoy it, to be honest. And it's not because I don't like getting the pulls. That's always the best part. It's all the stuff in between that I go, I could really enjoy the hobby, collecting the artworks that I'd like to get and going after the different pieces I have. I actually have been acquiring a lot of singles lately that I haven't discussed on the channel, completing master sets for basically pennies compared to what it would take to open it. So I'd love to share that with you. I think I've recently completed 3 really on the cheap, and I can walk you through the process and how you do it, and good ways to go, how to research, what to watch, trends to see. So take this journey with me, join along, subscribe, like, and comment. Tell me if you even like this kind of content. Is this something that's worth going down this road? I can do it on every set. Of course I could. I'd love to. I like to research. I like to see what's going on with the market. I'm already doing it anyways. I may as well share with you my research that I'm doing on a daily basis and watching these markets and how they're manipulated or not, and what you can do with them. So things to consider, things to talk about. Like, subscribe, comment, anything you can do to help the channel. I'd really love it. This thing needs some growth to keep it going. So I appreciate it, and thank you for stopping by.